What a better way to celebrate a Friday than talking hoops. Welcome into the NBA show on Coast2Coast Sports. I'm your host, Richard Geraffo, and joining me as always is Jordan Desouza and Matthew Andujo. The 2017 NBA season is getting ever so closer. This means that the most entertaining and jam-packed NBA offseason ever is coming to a close. We've had a few major changes in the NBA's landscape this past week, and on today's show we will be discussing all of them. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. So guys, the NBA has another super team on its hands. Carmelo Anthony and Paul George have been traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder, now forming one of the most formidable big threes in the entire NBA. This hasn't happened in quite a long time. An NBA offseason like this is truly insane. The New York Thunder are the epitome of the modern NBA and are the latest team to make major moves in this historic offseason. While the names are recognizable and the star power is legit, we have to take a long, hard look into this team to see if it's really going to work, because there are a lot of personalities and there's only one ball. This is the first time three superstars have been playing together like this. They're all ball-dominant guys throughout their full career. So I want to start it off, Jordan. How well do you think Carmelo and Paul George fit in OKC?
I think their fit will look very well. They're two guys who excel greatly in the offensive front, in half court, and in transition. And I think what it really does for the Thunder, it gives them the ability to have one superstar on the floor at all times. A lot of the times in the playoffs for the Thunder, they would really struggle when Russell Westbrook was getting his rest off the floor. You could take a look at their plus minus. It was very drastic. So now they'll have the opportunity to have either Carmelo, Paul George, or Russ on the floor at all times. So it'll definitely help them in that category.
And Matthew, what do you think about this? Specifically, though, I want to ask you, how do you think this helps their defense?
It helps their defense a lot. Paul George is one of the best two-way players in the game. Carmelo has always been a pretty good defender, and you know Russell Westbrook, when he wants to play defense, he'll play defense. With Steven Adams also on the court, that's a rim protector. You know, they added Patrick Patterson to their bench. They still have Andre Roberson, one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. I think it helps their defense. It obviously helps their offense, so I think they'll be fine. I have to agree with Jordan. They do improve. They all will always have an all-star on the court. And I think they'll gel really perfectly, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely love this fit. I like it a lot. I think Carmelo is going to be an awesome third scoring option. If he just, give him the ball every now and then, he's still got that explosive power where he can score 25 in one quarter. He did it last year, so that's really, it's going to be interesting how this team comes together as the season goes on. But this poses the question. Golden State Warriors have one of the best rosters the NBA has ever seen. Yep. And there's not very many people competing with them. But personally, I think that these two trades put together, I think this gives them a legitimate shot. Jordan, what do you think? Do you think OKC has a good chance competing with Golden State?
I definitely have to agree with you. I think a lot of the teams that the Warriors played in the playoffs, a lot of those teams did have a shot, even the Cavs. I think the Cavs could have won. And definitely I think this boosts their shot of beating the Warriors when you have three superstars like George, Anthony, and Westbrook. It definitely gives them a better chance to take down the Warriors.
The MVP finally has some help. Plus minus was awful without him. You take him off the floor, no one else is scoring the ball. They're having trouble. But now you allow yourself to have Paul George or Carmelo Anthony on the court, either two or one at a time. You're going to have a scorer at all times. It puts them in a great position to compete with the Warriors. I love the Patrick Patterson pickup. That he's going to be one of their solid players, one of the key players, because he can stretch the floor, he can bang inside. But with Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, you have scores now. Westbrook finally has some help.
Yeah, I mean, also, not to interject, but if you just look at it, I mean, you have all those plays last year where Russ is driving in, he's kicking out to the corner to Roberson or Abrines. A lot of the times those guys aren't going to be able to knock down those shots. I mean, now he's going to be chucking it to Paul George or Carmelo Anthony out in the wing. Definitely a big difference.
Now, another interesting wrinkle to this whole situation, Russell Westbrook, just today, mind you, it's KD's birthday today too. He signed an extension, a 5-year, $205 million extension to stay with the Oklahoma City Thunder. That puts him as the highest paid NBA player right now. He just surpassed James Harden. It's incredible. It's a huge contract. But with this extension, do you think this is going to help convince Paul George and Carmelo both to stay and re-sign after this one-year deal that they have?
I think it really depends on the success of their team this year. I mean, if you look at what the Warriors did, Kevin Durant took less money. Stephen Curry definitely doesn't have the biggest contract right now. So they did that so they could help improve their bench. And right now, I'd say the biggest problem for the Thunder is their lack of bench depth. So I think it all depends on their success this year. If they can win, maybe that'll convince Paul George and Carmelo to stay and maybe take less money. But I really just think it depends on this year.
Yeah. Now, Matthew, I have another wrinkle to the same question. We're still talking about if they're going to re-sign. How big is this year for Billy Donovan?
Huge year. I think they finally give him some help. First year he had Kevin Durant, but now last year he led the team to about 50-plus wins, about the 4 seed, 6 seed, something like that. So he has everything that he wants. It's on him now. A lot of critics say that he's not really fit for the NBA. He hasn't really, just been lucky, been blessed with KD, Russ, and then he had Russ last year. But I feel with the system he has now, it's a huge year for him. He finally has some pieces he can just play with.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to watch. We're going to have to see different sacrifices from these guys. They've all been ones pretty much their whole career. Now, we can't have a 1A, 1B, and 1C, so we're going to have to see if Carmelo is willing to sit in the wing a little, if Paul George is willing to play off the ball as well, and if Russell Westbrook is going to sacrifice some of those incredible world-beating stats that he had last year for the success of the team. Now, guys, that's going to do it for our first segment. We're coming right back after this. We're talking Dwayne Wade to the Cavaliers. That's big. We'll be right back.